With the last ounce of strength she had left, my mother let out a hell of a scolding, then hurled my suitcase out the door, just shy of setting it on fire to make sure I never come back. Yes, I'm a piece of trash, but who hasn't been trash at some point in their life? Besides, I only hurt my own mother, not someone else's, right? God will bless me as long as he's not too busy keeping up with Hollywood divorces. But why did I get kicked out? Simple, I just borrowed a few $1 million from my mom. She had saved up her whole life, but to me, it was more like a high-return investment. My mother was the type of person who could wear the same piece of underwear for 15 years until it disintegrated into dust, so honestly, that money was probably never going to be spent anyway. I would reinvent myself, bag a billionaire, become a rich woman, and then buy my mother a house. A flawless plan. One night, I discovered that my mother had a secret stash hidden deep inside a locked chest, under her wardrobe. My chance had arrived. I was going to steal it while she was asleep. But there was a problem. Did my mother ever actually sleep? She was sharper than a security camera, more alert than a CIA agent. So I came up with a perfect plan. Spike her orange juice with sleeping pills. Once she passed out like a mummy in an Egyptian museum, I carefully dug through her pockets. Oh my god, was she a nuclear code guardian or something? Her bag was filled with a ridiculous number of keys, like she was guarding a national treasure vault. I spent 3 whole hours fumbling through them, to the point where I felt like I was on some TV game show puzzle challenge. Then I got fed up and took a shortcut, a power drill. I dragged the chest into the middle of the room, my hands shaking, my heart pounding, and then I discovered it wasn't even locked. Mother, 3 hours of my life, gone, wasted. I lifted the lid, and paradise unfolded before my eyes. Neatly stacked cash, glittering jewelry, enough money to completely remodel my entire face. But I couldn't just grab and run like some low-tier thief. I needed to stage the perfect crime scene. Stuffed the keys back into my mother's bag, smashed the window to make it look like a pro burglar job, beat myself up to create realistic injuries, and just to be extra sure, I grabbed a stick and gave my mother a gentle whack on the head, enough for her to believe she'd been knocked unconscious. The next morning, my mother still hadn't woken up. I figured the sleeping pills were just a bit too strong, so I quickly packed my bags, grabbed my suitcase, and hit the road. Destination, the plastic surgery clinic. The moment I walked in, I was humiliated at the door. The receptionist scanned me from head to toe and coldly declared, "You should get your entire body redone. That way, you might actually be beautiful." Excuse me? I nearly picked up a chair and hurled it at her face. But no, I needed to be beautiful, not arrested. I was led into a tiny closet-sized operating room cluttered with junk like a sketchy roadside repair shop. But before I could even process my horror, the doctor walked in, and I froze. She was uglier than me, a plot twist more painful than my entire existence. I asked why she hadn't operated on herself, and she simply smirked. If I got surgery like every other girl, I'd be too ordinary. I want to be a new standard of beauty. Okay, whatever, as long as she made me hot, I didn't care. I slammed $3 million on the table. Make me a goddess. Her eyes lit up like a stadium floodlights. But before I could even take a deep breath and mentally prepare for my glorious transformation, she dragged me onto the operating table. Scalpels flew, lights flashed. Boom! Before I could even pass out properly, the surgery was done. Faster than the time it took for me to rob my mother. I woke up with my face completely wrapped in bandages. I couldn't see my new divine beauty yet, but I reassured myself. Alright, Jane, from now on, the world will call you a goddess. With my heart bursting with anticipation, I hopped into a taxi and headed home. Tomorrow, I would wake up as a queen. But my mother still hadn't woken up. Oh shit, panic started to creep in. Had I overdone the sleeping pills? Or was my fake knocked out hit on her head a little too effective? Oh my god, I was freaking out. I rushed her to the hospital, putting on my best performance as a devoted, loving daughter. The doctors must have thought I was an angel, especially with my face all bandaged up like a walking mummy. And then, she woke up. Her eyes snapped open and landed on me like I was a demon straight from hell. And then, with the superhuman strength of someone who had just been knocked unconscious and hadn't even had breakfast, she bolted upright like a zombie and screamed, "You! Get the hell out of my house!" Well, that was fast. No questions, no doubts. She didn't even bother considering the possibility of a burglary. She just automatically filled in the blanks and confirmed I was the culprit. And just like that, the movie scene began. Suitcase catapulted out of the house. Me kicked out onto the pavement. Beloved mother slamming the door shut and sending me flying into the streets at light speed. Fine, I'll leave, but I will return in glory. I will show my mother the transformation of a noble lady. For now, I picked a cheap rental, so low budget, it cost about the same as a loaf of bread to survive my first month as a featured beauty queen. I had just undergone plastic surgery, but I was too lazy to cook, so I binged on greasy fast food, completely ignoring the doctor's eat healthy advice. Who cares? 2 weeks later, the moment of truth arrived. I stood in front of the mirror, my heart pounding. I slowly peeled away the last layer of bandages. Oh my freaking god. I stared at the mirror in absolute horror. My mouth, wider than a lifesaver ring. My nose, so high that my nostrils looked like twin sewer pipes. My eyes, only one had double eyelids, because I could only afford half a face. What the hell is this? Did Did I just pay $3 million to look like a factory reject? I stormed over to the plastic surgery clinic, ready to raise hell. But it was gone. Completely vanished. Nothing left but an empty parking lot. A nearby worker sighed, looked at me with pity, and said, "They moved out. Rent was too high." I stood there, stunned. I had been scammed. $3 million, gone. My dream of becoming a rich, high-class lady, gone. All that remained was this hideous, lopsided face.
A few moments later.
With no way out, I dragged myself back home. But when I arrived, my mother was no longer the steel-hearted demon she used to be. She lay on the bed, her face gaunt, her eyes hollow and lifeless. I rushed to her side, tears streaming down my face. "Mom, I was wrong. I regret anything. But, do you have any money left? Just a few $100s, so I can fix my other eye." She turned to me, and then she smiled. A gentle, eerie smile. Then she placed her last bit of money into my hands. "Take it. Be beautiful. Be happy. Because I won't be here much longer." Wait, what? She told me she had been terminally ill. The money was supposed to be for her treatment, but I had stolen it all. And thanks to my overdose sleeping pills and the whack on her head, her body simply couldn't fight anymore. I stood there, frozen. No way. This had to be a joke, right? 3 days later, she was gone. At the funeral, I stood before her coffin, my botched surgery face twisted in grief, my tears soaked into my swollen cheeks. "Mom, I'm sorry, but could you maybe bless me with some extra cash so I can at least fix my face?" No answer. Only the cold wind whispering through the air, cold like my fate.